Our house is new construction. We just moved in 7, maybe 8 months ago, and I'll show you something that I always like to do when I move into a new home, be it a new construction or even an existing construction. Let me show you. These are the strike plates for the doorknob and for the deadbolt. Let's go ahead and pull one of these screws out. Okay, and take a look at this. You get a screw that is maybe a 1/2 of an inch, somewhere close to 3/4 of an inch long. That barely gets into the door casing. Now, when they put a door in, when they frame the door, there is at least one 2x4 behind here. Many times there are two where they frame the door up. So what I like to do is I go out and get some sheet metal screws. Now these are number 10, 2.5 inch screws. With these screws, I go ahead and use an 11/64 inch bit. It's a little smaller than the screw, so it drills a nice hole, and then I can get a good bite with the screw. So let's go ahead and drill our hole. And I got a good bite in the stud there. Now, with these smaller screws, if someone were to put a boot on the other side of your door, those little screws they're just going to pop right out because this is just a piece of pine here. These larger screws, yes, they can still break them, but they're stainless steel and they're going to have to put a whole lot more force behind there to be able to do it. So let's get the others replaced. And you can see even the deadbolt screws are tiny. Not only do I replace the screws in the strike plates, but I also like to replace at least one screw in each of the 3 hinges on the opposite side of the door. And the reason for this is over time your door will sag, but if you get a good bite all the way into the studs in the wall, it helps give the door more support. You can replace all 3, but I've always just done one and it's served me well. So let's get those replaced as well. I forgot to turn the camera on, but I'm removing this particular screw because it was stripped. I must say, I am happy they did use some relatively long screws. The screw on the left is the one I'm using, and it's almost exactly the same length. So I'm going to go ahead and replace this screw, put it back, and I won't worry about this door, but I will test all of my other doors and make sure that they have screws sufficient to give the door the proper support that it needs. I hope you found this helpful. It's just something that I like to do. It gives me a little more comfort with the fact that it's going to be a little harder to kick this door in. It can still be done, but they're really going to have to put a lot more effort into it. As well as, I just like to make sure I support my doors so that 2 years from now I don't have to deal with that door dragging on the ground or rubbing on the casing every time I try to open or close it. Everybody have a great evening, and come back and see me again real soon.